Shortcut methods. Guys, today we are going to see multiplication shortcuts. In this video, we are going to see how to use shortcuts while multiplying numbers with 5, 15, 25 and 125, and then in 2-digit multiplication, base of 10 method and base 20, 30, 50 and 100 method, and then finally 3-digit multiplication. Friends, before going to see the shortcut methods, we have to know some basic ideas and also derive the answers for each questions asked from aspirants like you. First of all, what is the need of shortcuts? Guys, you know that when seeing the questions in competitive exams, we can easily find out which topic is that question came from within fraction of seconds. But while solving questions, you may get more time to get a solution. To reduce the manipulating of calculation time, we have to use these shortcuts. And if you are master in manipulating of calculation, then you are halfway to the success in aptitude section. And then the questions may arise, how to be a master in manipulating of calculation. The only shortcut here is practice, practice and practice. Friends, just think about when you are born and your parents giving a name for you. Then itself all your friends came to know your name. They calling you repeatedly and the name of yours registered in their subconscious memory. Likewise, initially the shortcuts you are going to see look like carrying Himalayas in your shoulders. When you are familiar with these shortcuts, it will be a cakewalk. And some aspirants may think of what is the need of shortcuts in multiplication. As we all know in aptitude section, multiplication calculations used in every aspect of topics like permutation, combination, probability, such like miscellaneous questions. So far, if you are having well knowledge on shortcuts in multiplication, it will be a booster for facing any questions in aptitude section. Okay guys, let's see the shortcut methods. First of all, multiplication by 5. Any number, whether it might be odd or even, we have to divide the number by 2 and then multiply the resultant number with 10. Friends, just clearly understand the concept from coming examples. Here we are going to multiply 42 with 5. First we have to divide the given number 41 and then multiply the resultant number with 10. Therefore we can get answer 210. Likewise, if you are taking 83 with multiplication of 5, here, friends, just noted here, 83 is an odd number. While dividing 83 by 2, we can get 41.5. And then multiplying the 41.5 with 10, we will get an answer like 415. Friends, from the following examples, we can get an overview of this method. Friends, just clearly concentrate on this part. Only 2 steps we should do. First, divide the number by 2 and then multiply 10 with the resultant number. Guys, let's do the given examples of multiplication of 5 with 128 and 323. I hope that you will get the same results as we got here. Even for multiplication of 5 with 3-digit or 4-digit numbers, we can use this method. Okay guys, let's move to the next method, multiplication of numbers with 15. Here we are going to see multiplication of 82 with 15. First we have to divide the given number by 2. While dividing, we can get 41. And then adding the numbers, the given number 82 and the number which we are getting from the division, 41. While adding these numbers, we can get resultant number as 123. And finally, we have to multiply 10 with the resultant number 123. We can get answer 1230. Likewise, we can also use this method for odd numbers also. If you are multiplying 63 with 15, first we have to divide the number by 2. We can get 31.5 and then adding the numbers 63 and 31.5, we can get resultant number as 94.5. And then finally, we can multiply 10 with the resultant number 94.5, we can get answer 945. Friends, from the above mentioned examples, we can clearly understand what are the steps we should do. Only 3 steps, friends. First, we have to divide the given number by 2 and then adding the numbers, the given number and the number which we are getting from the division, and then finally multiply the 10 with the resultant number. Friends, we can also use this method for 3-digit also. For instance, we can take multiplication of 126 with 15. First we have to divide the number by 2 so that we can get 63 and then adding the numbers 126 and 63, we can get resultant number as 189. And then finally multiplying 10 with the resultant number 189, we can get Answer 1890. Guys, we can also use this method for higher numbers. Likewise, if you are multiplying 549 with 15, we can get an answer very quickly. Friends, I hope that you are understand this shortcut method. Let's move on to the next shortcut method, multiplication of numbers with 25. Here we will take multiplication of 56 with 25. First we have to divide the given number by 4 so that we can get 14 while dividing 56 by 4. And then finally we have to multiply the resultant value 14 with 100 so that we can get 1400. For instance, if you are multiplying 77 with 25, while dividing 77 by 4 we can get 19 with remainder 1. Friends, first we have to place the quotient value 19 first and then multiply the remainder with 25. Here the remainder is 1 and then multiplying 1 into 25 we can get 25. So place this resultant value 25 after the quotient 19 so that we can get 1925. So the answer is 1925. Friends, clearly concentrate on this part. In the first example, while dividing we are getting quotient value 14 and 0 remainder so that we are multiplying the quotient value with 100. And also in the second example, while dividing we are getting quotient value 19 with remainder 1. So in this case we are placing 19 first and then placing the resultant value 25 after the quotient. For your reference, we can take another one example, multiplication of 326 with 25. While dividing 326 by 4, we can get 81 with remainder 2. Here we are getting remainder, so that we are placing the quotient value 81 first and then multiplying the remainder with 25. Here the remainder is 2, so that multiplying 2 into 25 we can get 50 as the resultant value. So finally, placing the resultant value 50 after the quotient 81 so that we can get answer 8150. Friends, I hope that you are understand this concept. We can move on to the next method, multiplication of numbers with 125. We will take multiplying 72 with 125. First we have to divide the given number 72 by 8 so that we can get 9. And then finally we have to multiply the resultant number 9 with 1000. We can get answer 9000. For another example of multiplying 26 with 125, while dividing 26 by 8 we can get 3 with remainder 2. So in this case, first place the quotient value 3 at first and then multiply the remainder with 125. Here the remainder is 2, so that 2 into 125 we can get 250. And then finally place this resultant value 250 after the quotient 3 so that we can get answer 3250. Friends, from the above mentioned examples we can derive a conclusion. As start off in the first example, while dividing we can get a quotient with a 0 remainder so that we are multiplying quotient value with 1000. In the second example, while dividing we are getting quotient value with remainder so that we are placing the quotient value at first and then finally we are placing the resultant value after the quotient. Friends, we can use this shortcut method for any numbers while multiplying with 125. Guys, kindly pause this video and try to do the following examples of multiplying 739 with 125 and 567 with 125. I hope that you are getting the same results as you mentioned here. Let's move on to the next shortcut method on 2-digit multiplication. In 2-digit multiplication, first we are going to see based on method. We can understand this method from the following examples. Multiplication of 14 with 18. First of all, we have to note how many values are increased or decreased from 10, mentioning that as a superscript in their numbers. Here in 14, 4 values are increased from 10, so that we mentioned plus 4, and also in 18, 8 values are increased from 10, so that we mentioned plus 8 as a superscript of 18. In the next step, the number 14 is added to the superscript of 18. or else we can add 18 and the superscript of 14, so that we can get 22, and then multiply 22 with 10, we can get resultant value 220, and we have to multiply superscript values. Here multiplying plus 4 with plus 8, we can get plus 32, and finally we should add the resultant number 220 and plus 32, we will get 252. Friends, initially this method looks like hard to handle the values. If you are well engaged with the shortcut, you can get the answers within 5 seconds. We can see the another example of multiplication of 19 with 12. Here we can see superscript plus 9 and plus 2, and then adding 19 with superscript value plus 2 or adding 12 with the superscript value plus 9, we can get 21, and then multiply it with 10, we shall get the resultant value 210. Then multiply superscript values plus 9 and plus 2, we can get plus 18. Finally, adding this plus 18 with the resultant value 210, we will get the answer as 228. Friends, let us see this next shortcut in base 10 method. Here we are going to see multiplication of single digit and 2 digits. We shall take multiplication of 7 with 14. For 7, minus 3 is mentioned as superscript of 7 because 3 values are decreased from 10. For 14, 4 values are increased from 10. So that we are mentioning plus 4 as a superscript of 14. And then we have to add 7 with the 14th superscript, or we have to subtract 14 with the 7th superscript, so that we can get 11. And then multiply 10 with the 11, we can get the resultant value 110. And then we have to multiply the superscript values minus 3 and plus 4, so that we can get minus 12. Friends, here the sign is very important because the sign only itself will decide the next process of addition or subtraction. So, and then we are going to subtract the values, the resultant number 110 and minus 12, so that we can get the answer 98. Guys, for getting the clear understanding of this method, shall we move on to the next example? The multiplication of 8 with 19. For 8, minus 2 is the superscript. For 19, plus 9 is the superscript. In the next step, we are going to add 8 with the 19th superscript plus 9, or we are going to subtract 19 with the 8th superscript, that is minus 2, so that we can get 17. In the next step, we are going to multiply 10 with the 17, so that we can get the resultant number 170. And then we have to multiply the superscript values, that is minus 2 and plus 9, so that we can get minus 18. And then finally we have to subtract the numbers 170 and 18, so that we can get the answer 152. Friends, from the above examples, we can conclude this method will suitable for multiplying numbers from 1 to 20 itself. Let's move on to the next shortcut method in 2-digit multiplication, that is base 20 method. We can take multiplying 26 with 29. In 26, plus 6 is the superscript of 26, and in 29, plus 9 is the superscript. And then adding 26 plus 9 or 29 plus 6, we can get 35. And then we are going to multiply 35 with 20, we can get 700. And then the multiplication of superscript values plus 6 and plus 9, we can get plus 54. And then finally we are going to add the resultant value 700 and 54, we can get 754. Friends, here the important point is we are going to multiply 35 with 20 because the superscript values plus 6 and plus 9 are depends on the base 20. Okay friends, let's move on to the next example, multiplication of 24 with 17. In 24, plus 4 is the superscript, and in 17, minus 3 is the superscript because 17 is 3 values decreased from 20, so that we are mentioning minus 3 is the superscript of 17. And then we are going to subtract 24 minus 3 or addition 17 plus 4, we can get 21. And then multiplying 21 with 20, we can get 420. And then multiplying superscript values plus 4 and minus 3, we can get minus 12. And then finally we are going to subtract 420 and 12. We can get 408. Okay friends, let's move on to the next shortcut method, base 30. We can take an example of multiplying 32 with 39. In 32, plus 2 is the superscript, and in 39, plus 9 is the superscript. And then we are going to add 32 plus 9 or 39 plus 2, we can get 41. And then friends, just noted here, we are going to multiply 41 with 30. Why? Because we are going to multiply 41 with 30? Because we are taking plus 2 and plus 9, the superscript values depends on the base 30. So that we are going to multiply 41 with 30. And then we are getting the answer 1230 as the resultant. And then we are going to multiply the superscript values, plus 2 and plus 9, we can get plus 18. And then finally we are going to add 1230 with 18. So that we can get the answer 1248. Friends, we can move on to the next example. 34 multiplying 34 with 28. In 34, plus 4 is the superscript, and in 28, minus 2 is the superscript. And then we are going to subtract 34 minus 2, or adding the 28 plus 4, we can get 32. And then we are going to multiply 32 with 30, we can get 960. And then we are going to multiply the superscript values, plus 4 and minus 2, we can get minus 8. And then finally we are going to subtract the values 960 and 8, we can get the answer 952. Okay friends, I hope that you understand the concepts of base 10, base 20 and base 30 methods. Let's move on to the next shortcut method, base 50. In this method we can take multiplying 58 with 52. In 58, plus 8 is the superscript, and in 52, plus 2 is the superscript. And then we are going to add 58 plus 2 or 52 plus 8, we can get 60. And multiplying 60 with 50, we can get 3000. Why we are multiplying 50 means we can take plus 8 and plus 2 depend on the 50. So that we are multiplying 50 with 60. So that we can get resultant value 3000. And then we are going to multiply the superscript values, plus 8 and plus 2, we can get plus 16. And then finally we are going to add the values 3000 and 16, we can get 3016. Okay friends, kindly pause this video and kindly do the following example of multiplying 42 with 57. I hope that you are getting the same results as you mentioned here. Okay friends, let's move on to the next shortcut method, base 100. In this method we are going to take an example of 117 and 104 multiplication. In 117, plus 17 is the superscript, and in 104, plus 4 is the superscript. And then we are going to add 117 plus 4 or 104 plus 17. We can get 121. And then we are going to multiply 121 with 100. We can get 12,100. And then friends, we are going to multiply the superscript plus 17 and plus 4, we can get 68. And then finally we are going to add the resultant value 12,100 and 68, we can get the answer 12,168. Friends, just like the above mentioned example, when you are going to multiply the numbers 92 and 109, we can get the answer as mentioned here, 10,028. Friends, kindly note this. You don't need to write all these things in your exams. Just to do the simple calculations in your mind. Okay friends, let's move on to the next shortcut method. In multiplication of 57 and 86, first we are going to multiply 7 into 6, we can get 42. And in multiplication of 5 into 6, we can get 30. And in multiplication of 7 into 8, we can get 56. And then we are going to add these numbers, 30 plus 56, we can get 86. And then we are going to multiply 5 into 8, we can get 40. And then finally we are going to add these numbers, just like putting 2 here. And then we are going to add 4 plus 6, we can get 10. So first we are placing the 0 here, and then plus 1 above 8. So adding the numbers plus 1 and 8, we can get 9. So finally we are getting the number as an answer 4,902. And friends, kindly note this. In base methods, you can multiply the numbers which are all very nearest to the base values. And in the above method, you can multiply any numbers, whether it might be nearest to the values or farthest values. You can get the answers very quickly. When you see the multiplication of 49 with 76, first we are going to multiply 9 into 6, we can get 54, and then we are going to multiply 4 into 6, we can get 24, and then we are going to multiply 9 into 7, we can get 63, and then adding these two numbers we can get 87, and then finally we are going to multiply 4 into 7, we can get 28, and then the addition process. First we are going to place 4 here, and then adding the numbers 7 plus 5, we can get 12, so placing 2 here, and then placing the plus 1 above 8, we can adding the plus 1, 8 and 8, we can get 17, so placing the 7 here, and placing the plus 1 above 2, so we can finally get the answer 3724. Next we are going to see the shortcut on 3-digit multiplication. For that we are going to take an example of multiplying 753 with 269. First we have to multiply the unit digits 3 and 9, we can get 27, so placing the 7 here, and 2 will be the carryover. In the next step, we are only considering the unit and 10th digits, and also we are going to do cross multiplication. For that, we are going to multiply 5 and 9, we can get 45, and then we are going to multiply 6 and 3, we will get 18. So adding the 2, 45 and 18, we will get 65, and then placing the 5 here, and 6 will be the carryover. In the next step, we are going to multiply the 100th digit of 753, that is 7 with 9, which is the unit digit of 269. So multiplying these numbers, we will get 63, and then we are multiplying the 10th digits 5 and 6, we will get 30, and multiplying the unit digit of 753, that is 3 and 2, which is the 100th digit of 269, while multiplying 3 and 2, we will get 6. So adding these numbers 6, 63, 30 and 6, we will get 105. So placing 5 here, and then 10 will be the carryover. In the next step, we are going to consider only the 10th and 100 digits, and also we are going to do cross multiplication. So for that we are going to do multiplication of 7 into 6, we are getting 42, and also we are going to multiply 5 into 2, we will get 10, and adding these numbers 10, 42 and 10, we will get 62, and placing 2 here, and 6 will be the carryover. And in the next step, we have to consider the 100th digits, that is 7 and 2. Multiplying the 7 into 2, we will get 14. So adding these numbers 6 plus 14, we will get 20. So placing 20, we will get the answer. Friends, finally we will get the answer 202557. Friends, initially this method looks like very hard, but while practicing more times, this will looks like very easy. In 3-digit multiplication, next we are going to see the multiplication of 3-digit and 2 digits. Further, we are going to take an example of multiplying 188 with 23. For the understanding purpose, we are placing 0 before 23. In the first step, we are going to multiply the unit digits, that is 8 into 3, we will get 24, so placing 4 here, and 2 will be the carryover. And in the next step, we are going to consider the only unit digit and 10th digits, and also we are going to do cross multiplication. So for that, we are going to multiply 8 into 3, we will get 24, then we are going to multiply 8 into 2, we will get 16, so adding these numbers 2, 24 and 16, we will get 42, so placing 2 here, and 4 will be the carryover. In the next step, we are going to multiply the 100th digits of 188, that is 1 with 3, which is the unit digit of 23. So multiplying 1 into 3, we will get 3. Then multiplying the 10th digits, that is 8 into 2, we will get 16. And multiplying the 8 with 0, that is any number multiplying with 0, we will get 0. So finally adding these numbers 4, 3, 16 and 0, we will get 23. So placing 3 here, and 2 will be the carryover to the next step. In the next step, we have to consider only the 10th and 100th digits, and also we can do the cross multiplication. So further we are going to multiply 1 into 2, we will get 2, and multiplying 0 with 8, we will get 0. So adding these numbers 2 plus 2, we will get 4. So finally we will get the answer 4324. Friends, I hope that you understand all the concepts of shortcut methods mentioned in this video. Kindly do more practices on these shortcuts. For your practices, we are giving the practice sets over here. And also friends, plan for routine works. Friends, we have to make a timetable or to-do list for basic tasks, that is practicing shortcuts. As a well-wisher, we are saying kindly spend a little span of time for shortcuts in a day. Because of practicing more questions on shortcuts, likewise in Aptitude section, you will learn how to manage time for handling numerical values in your exams. So for allot a timetable or study plan for practicing shortcut methods. Guys, if you have any queries regarding these multiplication shortcuts, contact us through comment section of this video. For more updates, subscribe our YouTube channel Benchmark and follow us on IBPSGuide.com.